future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce. Welcome to the Jwar Isles. And with me, we have Brother Bear.
Hey, how you going, Aaron?
And we're returning to Bushido. And today we're having a look at the piratey guys. We're looking at the piratey girls. It's the Jung.
We're talking about pirates. We're talking about the scallywags, the cutthroats, the guys that have sick of being on land and want to go out there on the ocean and explore the high seas. So this faction is very versatile because in the terms of play style, you've got access to cheap troops, so you can have large numbers if you really wanted to.
Yep.
Obviously, they have access also to a large number of animals, mainly nautical themes, so sharks and crabs and crab people.
Crab people, crab people.
Yep. Walks like crab, talks like people. They're also very quick and fast moving. They'll also have access to a lot of light-footed and a lot of access to immune to prone, I sort of noticed as well. Oh, and also they have access to the big giant water kami Ryujin, who's a monster in himself. Yeah. Oh, this is sort of the bleed faction. So bleed is kind of this faction's sort of theme. So they'll have a lot of sharp weaponry, weapons that cause bleed, which can only be healed to. So that's basically how they work.
Yeah. So it works in that the bleed tends to work in a similar faction to your poison from Ito. Not the same thing, but it kind of feels in a very similar vein. It's a faction that's very, very versatile. There's not really any specific weaknesses that I could really find. It's kind of like there's nothing that's really broken in there either. It's kind of a little bit above your middle. It's fairly even. Yeah, that's a better explanation.
I think their weakness would be obviously they don't have samurai, so they don't have major like combat guys. But I mean, they do have access to like some really good their sea witches all have like a unique sort of flavor as well.
They do have access to some big damage stuff, but the big damage stuff is still vulnerable. Like there's nothing like you don't have any armor 4, armor 5. Well, not walking around that's going to be doing lots of damage and be hard to hurt as well.
Yeah. So the way that this sort of faction works is so you can sort of take so you can go pretty much broad sort of if you wanted to, or you can sort of tailor in like different captains, which give you different sort of themes. So there's I think there's 4 themes, and 3 of them involve you have to take a captain of like one of the ships, and that gives you then benefits to your regular troopers and everything like that. So best way to sort of think of their so you got like the heavy hitting captain, you've got the sneaky captain, and then you've got the fast moving come in from the side sort of like captain.
Yeah.
So different ways of
it's a faction where realistically you're trying to build it around the leader per se. I mean, there is a generic theme in there as well, but usually your strength comes from complementing the leader that you've chosen. We'll be starting with the faction because obviously we start with the faction starter set with everybody. But we will be going through the various themes and the captains that are associated with them. Just because we kind of felt that it was important with this episode. Because otherwise you're kind of only getting part of the picture.
Yeah. Then we kind of wanted to touch on like a couple of models that sort of like stood out to us like majorly. And I reckon also a couple of models that you would, if you're a Jung player, you would probably buy just to have, because like sort of like a space filler, like the crabs. They're all really cool. Everyone loves the Horseshoe Crab. He's amazing for 1 point. But yeah, that's where we'll go. Who did you want to start with in the starter faction?
I'm going to start with Jung Tora.
Tora is a Junhin, so she's like a second in charge. So yeah, she can be taken in a theme. Yeah.
She costs you 17 rice. She's got 3 melee and 3 ranged. Both of those can be boosted for 3. She's got 4 movement, which can also be boosted for 3. She generates 2 ki. She can hold 6, and you can boost it for 3. She has a dagger, which has a -1 strength. Combo attack 0. Sidestep attack 0. Sidestep attack 0 was really nice. Thrown daggers as well. Oh, well, they're both good. I love the fact that you're not costing anything. It's great. She can also throw her dagger. It still has the -1 strength, but this time it'll cost you 1 to combo attack it. Its range is 2, 4, and 6. She has bravery, jump up, leadership Kaizoku, 1 within 4 inches, and she has 1 key ability called Flow Like Water. Cost you 2. You need to be the active player. This model gains dodge 1 and counter-strike defense 0 until the end of the current melee exchange. So you're already starting to see some of your movement shenanigans here. Her unique effects. Kaizoku models within this model's leadership range gain bravery and bodyguard Jung 2 inches. When this model is removed from play by an enemy attack or effect, all models in the opposing warband gain a death sentence marker. So these guys will be after revenge.
That's really good. She's a pretty good model to have in a starter set, especially seeing as majority of the guys that are in the starter set are the Kaizoku. So, you know, she'll give them that perk. Yeah, she's pretty good. We've always said every star set has a bit of a combat fighter, and this would, I reckon she's a pretty decent fighter. Combo attack 0 with a dagger is really, really good. And also the fact that she can have access to Counter-Strike defense 0 is even better. Yeah, no, I like her a lot for 17 Rice. I think she's a good asset to have.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to talk about Jory.
Yep.
So he's 16 Rice. He's an old man with the harpoon. He's got 3 attack, can boost that for 3. He's got movement 4. He's got 6 health. He's got range 3 and can boost that for 3. He generates 1 key and holds 6. He's got harpoon, which gives him reach, and gives bleed. He's got +1 strength with the harpoon. He can then he has a ranged option, which is thrown harpoon, which is a bleed 1 marker. It's lightweight as well. It has +1 strength. It's got a range of 2, 4, and 6. Not bad. He's got bravery and jump up, so he's able to jump up. Which actually is pretty good to have for 16 Rice. So he's got Game Hunter. So this model range, so for 2 key, an active ability, and it only affects him. You can't be in base-to-base contact when doing this key feat with an enemy model. This model's range attack gains sharp 1 until the current activation is resolved. So sharp goes against tough, so that removes tough. That's actually not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
So if you've got a big bear, this guy's actually pretty good. Reel them in. So this is another key feat he has. 2 key. You have to be the active player. It's a pulse of 3 inches. You can't be in base-to-base contact. When a friendly model in the pulse damages an enemy model with a harpoon ranged attack, the enemy model becomes prone. It's not bad. And he's got bravery and jump up, so he can, if he's prone, he can jump up for free. Not bad at all.
No.
Yeah, brilliant. 16 Rice, he's good.
And then we have Komo Asami. She costs you 14 Rice. She's a Shugenja. She has 2 melee, 3 ranged. She has 4 movement, 5 health. She generates 2 key. She can hold 8. She can boost it for 2. Her melee attack is sorcery with a -2 strength and sidestep defense. But her ranged is tidal push. It's a special attack. Drag attack 0, force back attack 0, and its range is medium 6. So this is very specific, this one. She has immune fire and light-footed. And if you look at a model, it's fairly obvious why she's immune to fire. She's covered in water.
Yeah, she's got coral in her hair too. She's I actually really like all the sea witches for this faction. This is also in a star set. This is quite a nice model. Each of your sea witches sort of has like a theme that is a benefit which will boost. So hang on, I'm going to start that again. I like all the sea witches in this faction, and there's 3 sort of to choose from at the moment, and they all sort of give like a different variety of what an ability. So I reckon they're really cool. And in a starter set, I reckon she's really good for 14 Rice.
Yeah, no, I agree. She has 2 key abilities. The first one is cleansing. It will cost you X. it's a complex action, and the pulse is X. So you have to pay so much, and how much you pay is how big this pulse is. You cannot be within base to base, though. Remove up to X control, disease, fire, poison, or spirit block markers from models within the pulse effect. X is equal to the number of key tokens spent. So you need to give some thought to this one, and this is probably something that you might want to save up for potentially. We also have Title Master, which is 2. You need to be the active player, but it only affects her. This model gains 1 of the following until the current ranged attack is resolved. Ranged weapons become 4, 8, and 2. Or, when making a ranged attack, this model does not need line of sight and ignores cover. Or, this model's ranged weapon gains sweep attack 0. That's where...
range. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, her ranged weapon band becomes 4, 8, and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. That's the one I'd be leaning into.
Yeah, for the title push, which gives drag and force back attack 1. So that's always good to have, especially when you're dealing with zones of control or objectives. You can push them away. Force back attack, I think it knocks them prone as well, which is your enemy, which is pretty good.
The model's ranged attack must declare a special attack. So that's where the special comes in. So it needs to be one of those things.
Yeah, so it needs to be drag or it needs to be force back attack.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Yeah, for 14 rice, I think she's a good all rounder. The fact that she has access to healing your models, and I like this. I like the fact that she heals a spirit block marker after we're talking about the Void faction. This is that's really, really good. And also the fact that she has the ability to knock and push opponents away from zones and objectives is definitely really, really good.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some good things there, and definitely a good thing, a good sight of what this faction can do, I think.
Yeah, no, I think she's really, really good.
Do you want to take Show, or do you want to take the Shark Boy?
I'll take what's his name? What's the shark's name again? It's
Ryota.
Ryota. I'll talk on Ryota.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ryota is 14 rice. He's a shaman man. Oh god, this is going to butcher me. He's got 3 attack. He can boost that for 3. He's got movement 4. He's got range of 1. He generates 1 key, holds 6. He's got he's got 7 wounds, which is not bad. He's got a katana, which gives him powerful attack 1 and +1 strength. Now he's aggressive, which he causes fear 5. He's fearless and he's got 6th sense. That's not bad. He's got Tiger Strike, which is one of his key abilities, and Tiger Strike is a 2 key. You have to be active, and it just affects him. This model's melee attack gain bleed 1 and sharp 1 until the current activation is complete.
That's definitely definitely good.
Yeah, that's really good. His unique effects is this model cannot declare weight or focused actions. So if he's on fire, he can't pad himself out. And when this model causes wounds to a model during a melee exchange, it may heal 1 wound. That's another unique ability. And then when targeting a model with bleed marker on this card, with a charge activation, this model gains charging bonus +1 movement and Banzai. I don't think we've covered Banzai, so I'll just quickly touch on what Banzai is.
Yep.
So Banzai is this model may make a charge action as a basic, simple action rather than a complex action. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah. So the fact that he's aggressive is probably his weakness, because the fact that he'll have to put more dice into attack than defense. That's how that will work. I believe also with aggressive, he becomes impetuous. No, sorry, that's Berserk I'm thinking of. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, that's probably his downfall. The fact that you've got Fear 5 isn't bad. He's fearless as well, and he's got 6th sense, which means he can target your your ninjas. Also, he can't be surprised as well, which is always really good. Yeah, no, he's not bad. He's the only downfall for him, which will probably be the same for all the other sharks, is probably that aggressive one. So that's something your opponent can easily counter. But yeah, he's not bad for 14 rice at all.
Yep. Yeah, aggressive is something that can be countered, and it's something that can be manipulated to some extent as well.
Yeah.
Because he has 3 dice, you know that 2 of them are going into attack, so there's not a lot of... it's something you can definitely use to your advantage. And then finally in this box, we have Sho. He's a Kazoku. He costs you 9 rice. His melee is 3, can boost it for 3. He's only got 1 range, but he won't be using it. He's got 4 movement, 6 health, generates 1 key, but he can hold 6. His weapon is a gaff hook, and it's just a nasty, meaty looking thing. -1 strength. It has bleed 1/1, and drag defense 0. He does have dodge 1, jump up, and light footed. And he has 1 ability called Sweep. Sweep will cost you 2. You need to be the active player. This model, shock horror, gains sweep attack until the current activation is resolved. I know that's going to be a very big shock given the name of the ability, but yeah, that actually is what it does.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So you got a cheap filler there. Hang on. First off, he's a named sort of cheap filler of Kazoku model for 9 rice. So he'll be a step above the basic the rank and file guy. He gains he's got sweep attack, which is pretty good. But yeah, he's not bad at all. And this will probably be a model you'll probably take in a lot of your other sort of factions as well. So not bad to have in a starter set either.
Yeah. Do you want to cover the landing party theme, given that that's the one that comes with the box?
Yeah, the landing party. Yeah. So the landing party theme is once per game during the starting phase, Kazoku models gain tough 1 whilst in base-to-base contact with an objective, within a scenario action, or while a Vim until the end phase. So during the last turn of the game, Kazoku models gain +2 movement statistic. There's some exclusions to this theme, so you can't have any Kancho, more than 1 Jun, so which is the lieutenant. Now, tough 1 is when this model would suffer a wound from any source, reduce the final number by 1. So yeah, that's not a bad landing. Landing party is not a bad theme to have in this starter box set, because you've got majority of your models are your Kazoku, and obviously you probably want to get more as well.
Yeah, there's a few things that comes in this set. I mean, the models are gorgeous. You've got street sharks, you've got crab people. This is a faction that you can have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, they've got some unique models definitely in this faction. Also, just letting everybody know that the starter box set tallied all the models up is bang on 70 rice. So if you want to take this, add models to make it 100 rice even, you can take a couple of big models, or you can take some smaller things depending on what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of options.
Yes. Now, before we go into what we would add to this faction, we want to go through each of our options, because we kind of feel that it's important to understanding how this faction works. So I'm going to start with Black Sails. So the Black Sails theme. Zoom in so that people can see it properly. Your Kanchu is Jung Hibiki, and the Juan is Jung Tora.
Which comes from the box set.
Yes. During the starting phase, choose 1 friendly Kazoku model to gain 1 activation counter. When friendly Kazoku models successfully use sidestep defense, it gains 1 key token. That's really nice. Permitted any Jung profile, Ronin Yokai, or Ronin Kaizoku. Exclusion: other Kanchos or Juan that other than those that are listed. And you're going to start seeing that's going to be a trend throughout all of them. So Jung
Yeah, and
Hibiki
Kami.
is the one that you have to take as your captain.
Mm-hmm.
He costs you 20 rice. He's your kancho and he's a samurai. He has 3 melee. You can boost it for 3. He has 3 ranged. He moves 5. You can boost it for 3. He has 5 wounds. He generates 2 ki. He can hold 8. His attack is a melee attack. It's called Shark Teeth, which is his little triangle thing. There's no strength changes. Combo attack 0. Sidestep defense. And throw defense 1. He has agile, bravery, dodge 1, feint 1, jump up, and prowess melee 1. So this guy's a bit of a beast actually. He does have a couple of different abilities. Yeah. He's got parlay, costs you 2. It's instant. Yeah, I love it. It just makes so much sense. The target needs to be in base to base. During an enemy model's activation, which it enters base to base with this model, that enemy's model and activation ends immediately. So, he's going to attack me. Parlay, and he's just forcing him to stop. It costs you 2, but especially if this is something that scares you, you're really going to annoy people with that.
So, and it's a once per turn. Sorry, it's a once per turn ability. I've seen this done. Like I've watched a battle report where someone has done this on Minamoto, not Rio. Ryujin, which is the big heavy hitter who basically came in and he had like a whole bunch of ki, and then because this is an instant ability, he goes parlay. No, you're not going to hit me. So yeah, it's pretty good.
That's nasty. I quite like it. Vault will cost you 2. You need to be the active player, and it means that you gain Cloud Walk until the end of the phase. And then finally, we've got Vitality for 3. This is also an instant, and it means that you gain an activation counter. So, I really want to do one more thing. I'll just use this 3, and now I can do it.
Yeah.
That's actually really nice. That's once per turn. That's obviously not something you're going to be pulling off every turn, but you'd need to be saving for it. Finally, unique effects. While this model is in play, Kaizen models in this model's warband gain evasive, and their melee weapons gain sidestep defense, which goes in with the way that you was
the theme
reading.
So Black Sails is sort of like your fast moving, giving additional. So Hibiki is all about speed. Just the fact that he's got extra access to extra activation tokens is always helpful. He's a solid profile for 20 rice. I didn't actually quite realize he was a samurai, so I take back my statement before about no access to samurai. But I think if I was to do Jung, I reckon I'd do Hibiki, or I would do probably I reckon I'd do Queen of the Waves if I had to pick. So I'll touch on Queen of the Waves theme. So you have to take so Kancho, so your captain is Jung Mari, and then your second in command, your Juhun, is Fujiro Ran. Now, during the starting phase, place one friendly model within 1 inch of its current activation. So that gives you access to some movement shenanigans there, which is pretty good. And now during deployment, you may choose 2 friendly Jung models to gain flank. Now, permitted models in this theme are any Jung profile, Ronin Kami, Ronin Yokai, Ronin Kazuku. Exclusions are any other Kancho or Jun other than the ones listed. Kamiman and Bato. So no samurai. No sumo models there. Now Jung Mari, one I really like a model. She's got a really, really pretty model. She's 20 rice. She is 3 combat, can boost that for 3. She's got 3 range, can boost that for 3. She's got movement 4. She's got 6 health. She's got so she generates 2 ki per turn, and she can boost and hold 8. Now she can boost her ki feats for 3 ki. Boost for ki test. For 3 ki. She's got a katana, which has got push defense 1. Push defense 0, and has +1 strength. She's got a pistol, which has got a reload 2 marker. It's got PS2. It's +2 strength. Has got a range band of 3, 6, and 9. She's got bravery, command, kazoku, 3 models up to 6. She's got feint 1. She's got jump up. She's got leadership Jung, so any Jung model gains +1 leadership. Anyone within 6 inches of her. She's got protected kazoku, 3 inches. Prowess melee of 1. She's got 2 key abilities. One is called Provoke, which is a 2 key. You have to be active. Target is within 6, and it's an opposed key test, and it's a once per turn. Target enemy model gains impetuous marker, and the opposing player may not declare use of any past tokens on next activation. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I like her ability Rally as well, which is remove all frightened markers from all friendly models within the pulse. The pulse is of 8 inches. This key feat is going to cost you 3. It has to be, and you have to be the active player. And her unique effect is Kazuka models within this warband gain Scout 2 inches. So that's not bad, because then you get closer up to the field there as well. And especially with her deployment shenanigans, that's always pretty good. Yeah, I like the Queen of the Waves theme a lot. And the ability to have flank. It set you up any Jung model can have flank, which is pretty good.
And then last but not least, we have the Docks of Ryu, which was originally the name of the expansion for Rise of the Kage, the board game.
Yeah.
Own it. Well, the board game. So, Docks of Ryu, your Kancho needs to be Jung Monato, and your Juin needs to be Yuji. During the starting phase, choose one model to gain Tireless until the end phase. If your opponent has more victory points than you may distribute an additional 2 key tokens amongst friendly Jung models in the key generation step. Permitted any Jung profile and Ronin Kami. Exclusion: any other Kanchos or Juin other than those listed. Kaniniman and Samemiman.
Yeah, so the Sharkmen.
So the Sharkmen and the Crab people is the... No, what's the Kaniniman?
Yeah. Kaniniman are the shark people, yeah. Sorry, Kaniniman are the crab people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry we butchered the names.
I'm fairly confident on Kaniniman. I'm not sure about the other one. So, Jung Monato.
Man.
Yeah. So,
this
guy's a meat axe. I mean, he's throwing a giant anchor around it. His
weapon is anchor.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah. He's great. He's a great model.
He's a Kanchu and a samurai.
Mm-hmm.
He has 4 melee. You can boost it for 3. He has 3 ranged. He can move 4. He has 7 wounds. He has 2 key. He can hold 8. He can boost his thing for 3. His anchor melee attack is +1 strength. Brutal 1. Powerful attack 0. Push attack 0. And his anchor ranged attack is +1 strength. It's brutal 1. And it's only middle for 3 inches. He has fearless, jump up, and prowess melee 1. He's got a couple of key abilities. We start with batter. Cost you 2 key. It's an instant. Until the end phase, models wounded by this model's melee attack gain a stun marker. He's also got circular strike for 3, which is a simple. You cannot be within base to base. You can only use it once per turn. This model gains aware until the end of this activation, then makes a ranged attack against each model in range and line of sight in any order. These attacks are not affected by a penalty for having made a ranged attack previously this turn. So he just holds onto the chain and goes woof like a barbarian in Diablo.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Smite, because of course he does. He's got a giant anchor. 2 key, you need to be active. This model's melee weapon gains slam attack 0 until the current activation is resolved. Unique effects. While this model is in play, the melee weapons of Kazoku models in this model's warband gain powerful attack 1. This guy is a beast. He's going to be like, you're taking this guy on the table, and you know what he's up for. Like, this is going to be strong attacks, but it's all going to be very aggressive. I like this guy. Plus, his model is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, I do like him as well. Just yeah, I just I'm if I how do I say it? The reason why I picked if I would pick with Jung, I would pick Queen of the Waves or Black Sails is just because this guy feels very Minamoto. So I would want to change my play style while playing with him. But yeah, no, I like him a lot. I think he's a beast. Yeah, he's got everything I like. Stun markers. He's got slam. He's got smite.
Yeah, but if you're going to play with him, you may as well play with your own faction. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I like him a lot. He's There's you're bringing a hammer or you're bringing an anchor to a gunfight. Yeah, it's not bad. Like he'll do well.
Yeah.
For attack melee with melee prowess and brutal 1. So it's going to cost you 1 dice to get brutal. Oh, sorry. With brutal 1 and having powerful attack 0 and that's actually pretty good. And then +1 strength. Yeah. He's going to do some hurt. And the fact that he gives your basic troopers, powerful attack and melee, also pretty good.
Yeah. So, who do you want to cover next?
So we talked about the other themes there.
Yep.
And then we were talking about models we liked to add to the starter sets that get up to 100 rice. You wanted to talk about your big great white dude. What I might do is I might talk with a safe option of Jobin. So yeah.
Yep.
This guy's artwork, he looks like The Rock, like with a scar across his face. He looks like Hercules. But he's not as big as The Rock. So he's a Kazoku. He's a 12 rice model. He's got a melee range of 2. Melee ability of 2. He's got range of 2, and he can boost his range for 3 key. He's got movement 4. He's got 6 health. He generates 1 key and can hold 6. He's got the sniper rifle, the Argus, which has got Pierce 3. Yeah, sorry, Argus, yeah. And then he's got Pierce 3, he's got Reload 2, and he's got +4 strength. His range band for that weapon is 6, 12, and 18. He's got Jump Up, and he's got Hot Shot, which is 2 key. Obviously, you have to be the active player. It just affects him. It's a once per game ability. This model's weapon gains fire 1, 2 until the current activation is resolved. Yeah, I like him a lot to give you some powerful range ability. He also has a melee weapon of Shiv, which is just 0, nothing special there, just a little knife. I like him a lot for 12 rice. I think he gives you a pretty good ranged option there. I think he's a great model, and plus, depending on what theme you take, he'll gain some extra bonuses there too.
Yeah, and the model is one of the most gorgeous models in the game. I love this model so much.
Yeah, it's a new sculpt. Yeah, GCT have really upped their game on their sculpt quality. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Before we go into the ones that we really like, I want to finish off with the ones that we're recommending. So I'm going to go into errata first. Yep. And this is an errata a character, not a correction to a rule that was written. Just for the record. Just take a second here to look at this glorious hammerhead because he's gorgeous. He's all kinds of gorgeous.
Yeah, he's great.
Now, this street shark will cost you 10 rice. He's a Samemiman. He has 3 melee. You can boost it for 3. He has 1 ranged. Not what you're going to use him for. He moves 4. He has 8 wounds. He generates 2 key, but he can hold 6. He has a bite, which is +1 strength. Bleed 1, 1. He has aggressive, bravery, fear 5, impetuous 1, ranged defense 1, 6th sense. And then he has 2 key abilities. The first is Asp Strike. Cost you 2. It's an instant. It means that you gain lightning reflexes until the current activation is resolved. He also has Hammer Strike, which will cost you 3. For this one, you need to be the active player, though, and it means that you gain unblockable 1 until the current activation is resolved. Now, much like his friend from earlier, he's not allowed to declare weight or focus actions. When he causes wounds to a non-soulless model during a melee exchange, it may heal 1. So again, very similar to his other friend. And then when targeting a model with a bleed counter on its card, it gains charging bonus +1 and bonsai. So again, same as his friend. He's on a 40 mil base.
Yeah, he's a nice model. For 1 point. Also the fact that you're gaining another Shark Man, and this one's a little bit stronger. He has Impetuous 1, which is probably this guy's downfall, probably why he's pretty cheap. So he has to activate first, but also the fact that you're going to be pumping out a lot of bleed in this faction, and I just thought that having that ability to, that I should say benefit to on any model with a bleed marker, gives you a perk is always good to have. I like models with options, so the fact that you can have that ability is great. Just the only problem is he can't do focus actions or weight. Is this his downfall? But for 10 rice, he's not a bad model to have.
No.
I like them a lot. I'll touch on the crabs then.
Yep.
I don't have crabs, but anyway. Crabs of the Eastern Sea. So they got a special rice cost. So they're an animal and they're a crab. Their melee is X. You can see that you've got G has got. So you've got the giant fiddler crab has got 2 health. The crab swarm has got 3 health, and then the horseshoe crab has got 1 health. So they've got claws, which gives them sidestep defense 0, sidestep attack 0. Their melee has got a -2 strength. They've got armor 2, insignificant, group, and tiny. They've got a fair few sort of unique effects, so we'll go through them now. So this card represents 3 different models, each with their own abilities. Warband may not recruit multiple of the same crab. Now, models, melee, and key statistic are variable. X is equal to the remaining wounds. Now, horseshoe crab. So this is the one that I would probably take for 1 rice. This model has the following traits: armor 3, defensive, immune all, tough 3. This model cannot declare melee or charge actions and may declare weight whilst in base space contact with an enemy. The model costs 1 rice. The other option is there is a giant fiddler crab. So whilst this model is the active model and in base space contact with an enemy model, the enemy must make a move challenge test of 6. If it fails, place this model elsewhere, and the enemy model gains the following trait: unstable, weak, melee, and slow. The model may take a weight action. If it does, or if the model is killed, it loses the trait, and the controlled by and its controller may place this model from elsewhere within 2 inches of the enemy model. The giant fiddler crab costs 4 rice. Now the crab swarm. This model has the following trait: durable, evasive, swarm, tireless, and costs 7 rice. The reason why I like the horseshoe crab for 1 rice is just the fact that he's immune to all, and he's got toughness 3 as well, and also he can just gives you another activation token as well, which is always really good.
Yeah, I can see. I can see why the horseshoe crab is something that would be irritating as well, because it really doesn't cost much, and it's just going to... I mean, you can take it out, but to some extent you're wasting an activation to try and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't just ignore it.
Yeah. And if it goes into base-based contact, can't do any melee exchange, but the fact that you can wait within 1, so it can wait. It strips an activation token from an enemy, which is always pretty good to have. I like it a lot, and you can just place it onto a zone or something like that, and it can hold it. It's not bad for 1 rice at all.
No, not at all. And now finally, we have the Kawanan. Now, it's probably worth noting that, as suggested earlier, we are taking away the Kawanan that comes in the box set to replace him with these guys, we would probably recommend counting as the one that comes in the box as the second one of these, because otherwise you have two of the same model, which might get confusing unless you paint them differently. But if you do that, you need to make sure that your opponent knows that, because
they're different poses. So the Kawan model that comes in this blister is just basically standing still, whereas Show's got like sort of the hook up in the air. So there's two very different models. The other option, if you didn't want to take the Horseshoe Crab, you could take Show and this guy. But we wanted another activation token for the list, so we dropped Show by 1 rice. Yeah, that's why we took the other Kohanen.
Yeah. So Kohanen is 8 rice. He's a Kaizoku. Mm-hmm. He will have 3 melee, which he can boost for 3. He has 2 range that he won't be using. He has 4 movement. He has 6 wounds. There's an A and a B, obviously. He generates 1 key, so he can hold 6. He's got a gaff hook. Same -1, bleed 1/1, drag defense 1, light-footed. And he has 1 key ability called athleticism. This model gains jump up and dodge 1 until the current activation is resolved. So for 8 rice, this is nuts. Like, seriously, it's just baseline troop, but 8 rice is really good.
Yeah, so he basically, for you spending 2 key, and he gains the abilities that Show already has. But yeah, just having dodge 1 is always useful. Always useful to have, especially on a low cost model. And then obviously, depending on which theme later down the line that you get, I mean, you could give this guy sidestep defense. He can have powerful attack with the gaff hook, or he can he can gain flank even if you really wanted to. With queens, what does that give him? So Jung Mai gives scout. Sorry, I should say. Yeah, the fact that you can move up closer.
Yep.
Not bad thing to have there at all.
No, not at all.
So with him, the shark and Jobin, that would and the Horseshoe Crab if you wanted to. If not, you can leave it out. That'll take you up to 100 rice. Bang on. Now we talked about also like other models that we both liked. So I might talk on another of the Shugenja, which is Miyamoko Kora. I like her a lot. She's 17 rice. I just like her models as well, and she's sort of like got like that drowned sea witch look. She's got a sea urchin on her head as a flower, as a sort of a decorative piece. She's got melee 2. She's 17 rice, I should mention. She's got range 3. She can boost that for 3. She's got movement 4. She's got 5 health. She's got generates 2 key, can hold 8, and she can boost key feat. So her opposed key test for 2, which is good. So she's got sorcery, which is her melee. It's got -2 strength. Now it's got sidestep defense 1. She's also got drag attack 0 and force back attack 0. She's also got tidal push, which is drag attack 0, force back attack 0. This time though, it has sweep attack 2, which is always good. Her range band for tidal push is 3, 6, and 9, so it's a little bit further than the other Shugenja or Sea Witch. Now she's immune to fire because she's covered in water. She's got light-footed, and she's got willpower 1. Willpower is always good. She's got cleansing. So just like her other friends, she can remove up to X. So cleansing is X. It's a complex action. Pulse within X. You can't be in base-to-base contact with an enemy. Remove up to X control, disease, fire, poison, or spirit block markers from models within the pulse area of the effect. X is equal to the number of key tokens spent. She's got blood in the water. So this is a bit of a different ability. So blood in the water is 2 key, active, target within 6 inches. It's an opposed key test. You can't be in base-to-base contact, and it's a once per turn ability. Target model gains bleed 1 marker. Not bad. And she's also got Fog of Hesitation. So it's a 2 active model, pulse within 4 inches, 6, and it's an opposed key test. It's a once per turn ability. Choose an enemy model within the pulse. It may not be chosen as the active model until all other models in its warband are exhausted. I really like this ability, just because you can target something that you can see is going to be a potential threat and cause some problems for your opponent and basically hinder their battle plan. Her unique effect is this model's range attack must have a special attack. So you have to choose drag attack, force attack, or sweep attack 2. Yeah, I like her a lot for 17 Rice.
I agree.
I really like her. Yeah, so compared to the other one, she's got sidestep defense. She's got sweep attack on her title push, and that fog of hesitation is basically what you're paying 3 extra rice for.
Yeah,
compared to the one that's in the starter. Yeah, but also I just really like her model. Just she looks really sinister, and like sort of like a drowned witch. I really like her.
Yeah, she looks like the one out of the ring.
Yeah. In fact, all the witches are all the Shugenja models for this faction are really really cool.
Yeah,
there's another one which is the tentacle one. We won't touch on her. We don't have time.
okay.
But did you want to talk about your buddy?
Yeah, the one that I was looking at is Hitochi, which is literally what you think of when you think of street sharks. He is the Great White. He is a giant shark with legs, and he looks terrifying.
Mm.
So this is the big man of the... Yeah, this is the big man of the sharks. Yeah. 18 rice. He's a Samemiman. He has 3 melee. He can boost it for 3. 1 ranged. He moves 4. He has 8 wounds. He generates 2 ki, but he can hold 8. He has the same bite ability as others, so it's bleed 1/1, plus 1 strength. He has aggressive, bravery, charging bonus, brutal 1, fear 5, and 6 sense. So his abilities, he has crushing blow, which will cost you 2 ki. You need to be active for it. This model's weapons gain brutal +1 and pierce 2 until the end of its current activation. This key feat can only be used once per activation. He also has second wind, which will cost you 1. You need to be the active player. At the end of an activation in which this model declared a charge action and caused wounds in a melee exchange, it gains an activation counter.
Mm.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I think there was an errata. I think that's been changed from PS2 to PS1 from memory. But yeah, it's not bad. Crushing Blow is actually really, really good, especially just for 2k, which you're going to get that. You can potentially make that each turn if you really, really wanted. So this weapons model gains Brutal 1. So if you were to do Crushing Blow and Charge, you gain Brutal 3. Brutal 2, which is +2 to your melee. Which, I mean, you got aggressive. Yeah, you'll do some hurt.
Big time. Its unique effects. This model cannot declare weight or focus actions. And same as the other 2, when you cause wounds on a non-soulless model, it gets to heal 1 wound. So it feeds on the blood, basically. When targeting a bleeding model with a charge action, gains charging bonus, +1 move, and bonsai. So the unique effects for all 3 of these sharks is all the same. But there's definitely some differences there. This is the most expensive of them, but in turn for that, you are getting some pretty hefty bonuses as well.
Yeah. Also, the fact that he could target ninjas is always really, really good.
Yeah.
I like Second Wind a lot for 1 ki. It's not bad at all.
Second Wind is brilliant. Second Wind is the reason that I wanted to talk about this. Because how can you ignore that?
Yeah, it's really good. You're spending 1 ki and you gain an activation at the end of the melee. It's not bad. Well, so if you cause a wound by the melee, it's not bad at all. Because then you basically bite again. Yeah, it's really, really good. So basically, I like him a lot. For 18 rice, probably we should probably mention probably the reason why everyone's like, why is he 18 rice and he's such a big model? Is probably because of the aggressive. That sort of lowers the price for models.
Because it can be counteracted and manipulated quite easily, to be honest. Well, not easily, but if you know what you're doing in the game, you can manipulate the aggressive models to kind of take them out of the risk factor to some extent.
Yeah. The fact also that this guy doesn't have impetuous is really really good. If he was impetuous, I reckon he'd be down to like 15 rice. But yeah, like but impetuous would make this guy. I wouldn't. Yeah, he it would make him tricky. Um, but yeah, no, he's really good for 18 rice,
Yeah.
and he's a huge model. He's huge. Um, the other model I wanted to talk about is probably Ryujin.
And to be fair, you can't talk about the Jung without mentioning this guy. I mean, look at him.
Yeah, when we were talking about making lists, I did the starter set, which was 70, and I just added Ryujin, and I was like, yeah, that's 100 rice. That'll be great. And then I was like, oh, but I want to have more activation tokens, and we started
Yeah.
talking about that. Um, but Ryujin himself, he this it's really funny. I was listening to some people talk about Ryujin, and a few people talk about him, and they play him. Everyone plays him differently. Some people sort of use him. Well, as you can see, he's a big monster, and they use him as a monster for 30 rice, basically charging up and killing everything. But some people just sit there and use him sort of like as a big giant sort of like you know water tower, like basically targeting enemies and like knocking them back and pushing them away with tidal force. So people play him in different ways, which I thought was really interesting. Because my straight away I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, that +4 strength on his bite, like I wanna charge him up and like chomp on things.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about his abilities before I start, you know, going into him any more deeper. So Ryujin, he's 30 rice. He's a spirit of the deep ocean. He's melee 3. He can boost that for 3. He's got a range ability of 3. He can boost that for 3. He's got movement of 4. He can boost that for 3. He's got he generates 3 ki a turn and he can hold 10. He's got and he can boost his ki ability, opposed ki test for 3. He's got bite +4 strength as mentioned. Now his bite has got pierce 2, sharp 2. He's got drag attack 0, force back attack 0, and slam attack 0. His range, tidal force, he's got combo attack 1, drag attack 0, and force back attack 0. The tidal force has got 0 strength. He's got a range band of 4, 6, and 8. So he's got Believer Ryujin, 1, 2 inches. Cloud Walk, Fear 6. Kami, 6 Sense. Soulless, Tough 2. Now, his only ki ability is Tsunami, so 2 ki. Simple, pulse within 3. You can't have moved, and you can't be in base-to-base contact with an enemy. Enemy models in the pulse must pass a size challenge test of 7, or be moved directly away from this model until they hit an impassable terrain feature. A model which passes its size challenge test, or until they have moved 8 inches, if another model is contacted by models being moved by this feat, it must make a size test challenge of 6, or be pushed along its with the original model. Unique effects. Incoming tide. The area within X of this model is considered difficult terrain. Models in this area gain immune to fire and gain cover. X is the current turn number. If a water lesser Kami model ends its activation in base-to-base contact with this model, remove it from play. This model gains ki tokens equal to the water Kami's remaining ki tokens. So, if you move him,
that's nice.
he basically soaks them up, and you heal him. So because he's a Kami, the way he works is like the lower. So he's got 10 health. So basically, he's got 10 ki, which is basically representation of his health. The obviously, yeah, the more wounds he take, that goes down. That's basically how you get rid of him. He's a pain in the butt to deal with. From what I've sort of have spoken to people about, I've not faced him yet myself, but as a Minamoto player, like automatically I'm like, this guy's going to be a pain, and the only way I could think about dealing with him is placing the terrain elements sort of like staggered up the table, so I could have to like move up around them to avoid him.
Yeah.
But hearing people talk about their playstyle with him, they sort of use him like as they just move him into the middle and just use that tsunami sort of ability, or they just they go on the charge with him and do as much damage as possible. But I think what I've seen people do is when they take him, they run to Water Kami just to heal him if need be.
Honestly, if you were taking this guy, I think you have to take the Water Kami. I don't think he's going to survive as well otherwise.
I wonder if now I'm tempted to do I wonder if I can make a list of like all the sea witches, a couple of Water Kami, and him.
Possible.
No, my wallet can't take it. I've already got enough models to paint.
Do it.
I like Ryujin a lot. He's a beautiful model. He'll be really interesting to paint. But he's sort of like this big giant water dragon. And you can see like the seaweed as like his horns and stuff like that. He's really, really cool. I like him a lot. He's a great model to have, one, because he scares the heck out of people. He's on a big giant 50 mil base. He's really, really cool.
And I think it's worth noting, this thing is almost 10 centimeters tall. Like, this thing is
that's right. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's also really heavy as well. I've also been told that apparently building it isn't that scary. It's actually quite reasonable of a model. Like, you want to pin it, and then obviously you want to do some green stuffing here and there. But short of that, like, they thought about, we don't want to scare off people building this model. So yeah, I've heard it's actually not bad to build. We were talking off camera as well ages ago, and I mentioned that Mighty Ape were having a deal, and the Jung starter set was on sale for $40,
and I missed it. I was so upset.
Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying it as well, actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, yeah.
And although we're not talking about it, I do want to show off Totally Not Ursula just for a second, just because of how gorgeous she is. I mean, she's just all kinds of gorgeous.
Yeah, she's a skinny version of her.
She's just all kinds of gorgeous and evil. So there you go. That is our talk about the Jung. There's definitely some things about the Jung I like. Every time we talk about a faction, I keep on... Like, there's only been a couple of them where I haven't been... Oh, I can see myself playing with these. Jung is definitely on that list of ones that I really could see myself playing. Probably their saving grace, or my saving grace, I should say, is that I don't actually know which captain I would want to take. If I knew which captain, I suspect that I would be in a lot more trouble.
Well,
these,
but you've already got the models. You said you've already got the models. You should do it.
I have some of the model. I do have to go for Docs of Ryu because I have the board game. It is plastic, which means I don't have to be. It's just easy to build. I also have the Rise of Kage. Therefore, I can just I could take the ninjas as well. Have games with myself, not spending any money. No, this is a faction that's really
here's
good.
Our question to here's our question to the viewers. If you were to start a Jung starter, if you were to start a theme, which theme would you go for? Would you go for Black Sails? Would you go for Docs of Ryu? Or would you go for the basic one, the landing party, or would you go for Queen of the Waves? You tell us.
I want all of them. Next episode, we will be talking about some very sneaky, very hard to see. We're talking about the ninja.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time,